Good morning. I'm sick, so I can't predict what noises and or thoughts are going to come out of my head. But I thought, hey, let's do this because I want to talk about a case today that, well, I've been thinking about this a lot because I've had to do some submissions for my thesis and research, and trying to really nail it down into what I'm going to do. But so I've been sort of deep diving a bit. But I'm noticing a pattern, and I thought that people might need to be reminded that they have rights. And that a lot of this stuff that we talk about actually hasn't been tested in court. Okay? And we're living in emerging law, right? This is why I initially mistakenly started doing a law degree last year, because I thought, hey, this is an emerging area where law is going to be shit fights. I saw this happening, right? It's going to be shit fights. Okay, but every day we're seeing something where something goes to court and it's thrown out. It doesn't even make it to trial. It gets to a point where it's in front of a judge, and the judge just goes, this is absolute nonsense. Okay, and we're seeing more and more of that. And I want to give people some faith, but I also want to just reassure people that they have rights. Okay, and this links to, all of that stuff I've talked about in previous videos with all these HR tools that police likes and all of this stuff. They're doing that because they think they can, but it doesn't mean that it's legal, right? And I'm going to talk about that a little bit, right? They're trying it on. They're seeing what they can get away with because they know that we don't have the power. They know that we don't have the resources. But if you can, sue. If you can, you complain. Okay. Now, in Australia, in Australia, we have pretty solid laws. They've been eroded over the decades, but at the same time, the law's still there. Workers still have rights. Okay, whatever, regardless of whether you think they're being eroded or not, we do still fucking have rights. Okay. Citizens still have rights. When our major welfare department turns around and with robo-debt and Centrelink, right, that's now been struck out in court. Okay, well, it's being fought out. But let me be simplistic because there's just so much to talk about with this. But let's just, Harry Miller's case, thrown out, right? Or not thrown out, but basically the judge was not very kind to the College of Policing on this, right? Okay, so I think that okay. Now, forgive me. Like I said, I'm sick, so I don't know if this will come out as coherent, but we'll go there. But, okay, I want to talk a little bit about the thing called common law. Okay, so the government passes law, okay? Government departments, I'm going to simplify. They use policy and regulations, okay? But the judiciary interprets that law, okay? And the job of the judiciary is to protect the Constitution and protect people's rights and to check to see that things are lawful. Now, common law has evolved over centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries, right? It is a thing of beauty and it is the only thing that's going to save us. And I'm about to sneeze. I knew this was a bad idea. Just one sec. Yep, let's do live streams with a cold. Good job, Taya. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to share an article that came out today. This one's an Australian one. I think one thing that I find frustrating about this whole thing is just how much America and their bullshit culture war bleeds into our conversations. Now, we have different structures. Now, obviously, as I have to go do more academia, I need to start making sure that I'm not sort of, you know, I don't, who gives a fuck about America? America's got their own shit. It's all these Americans talking about American things. So I'm going to talk about something Australian for once. And maybe the Americans can actually learn a thing or two from us, which is that, you know, workers have rights here, right? We have annual leave and maternity, well, you know, some, but anyway. So let me share something with you, which is, and this one's interesting because I just want to keep people to remember they have rights. Okay? Corporations are going to cooperate, as I've said before. They're going to try their luck. And I'll expand on that a little bit more around the concept of technocracy, which is what we're finding ourselves in right now. Okay? Which is this, people have likened tech companies to the old robber barons of, you know, the early 1900s, late 1800s, 1900s, where they saw a gap in the market and, you know, the discovery of oil or the discovery of land or the discovery of these things, they claim them for their own and then rapidly make it the default and, you know, nobody's allowed to question it, right? It's a grab for power, it's a grab for resources. So if you look at it through that lens, it actually starts to make a bit more sense, okay? Now, again, I think we find that this is just how capitalism works, right? Grifter's going to grift, corporation's going to corporate, but they're going to try their luck. The point is that when it comes to bosses and workers, they're always going to try their luck, whether it's legal and whether it's constitutional and whether it is correct or not. And what we're seeing with tech is a massive loophole where the law has not caught up. Now, the law is slowly catching up. And I'm going to talk, again, I'm going to show you my brand yourself score again, because I'm going to keep driving this home, which is that HR have no fucking right to be harvesting our social media data. They have no right to be policing our memes. They have no right to be assigning us any kind of reputation score. And they're doing it anyway. And I hope that whoever doesn't get a job based on this stuff and whoever gets fired for sharing shit on social media or swearing on social media sues them into oblivion, because common law, right, means that there is a precedent, okay? Where more and more rulings are saying that you cannot fire people for sharing shit on social media, okay? And this is something I'm actually thinking of doing a course for HR on the ethics of this, because I don't think they're doing it to be malicious. They're doing it because they think that it's fine. But it's that, again, that's technocratic thinking, which is that if it can be done, it should be done, right? And that's not right. It's not right. I've been fighting technocrats since the beginning of my career, who are people that think that just because they can means they should, and that's not right. We have rights, okay? We have the right to privacy, and all of these things are enshrined, right, for a reason, okay? And one of those in Australia is that an employer cannot dictate how you spend your spare time, okay? If they pay you for 24 hours a day and all of your thoughts, then fine, but no. Okay, this is a fundamental right. So I want to share this because I think it's very interesting, because BP lost. Okay, so Fair Work, which is they're the tribunal. Okay, so think of them as a tribunal where for workplace disputes, so around industrial relations disputes, employment disputes, unfair dismissal, you know, those sorts of things. So this is an authoritative body that it has been given delegated authority to rule in this. So it is a tribunal, not a court, but it has, you know, it does contribute. So, Fair Work orders BP worker sacked for sharing downfall reinstated, right? So basically what this guy did, and it's basically this, right? Basically, during the negotiations for their agreement, so we still have some modicum of rights here, which is that workers we are still unionised, we do still collectively bargain for better or worse. And so during that, there was everyone knows this fucking downfall meme by now. If you don't know that it's called what downfall meme is, it's the Hitler one where he goes on a rant, right? Everyone knows that, okay? So I won't show you that, but this is the video that he showed, right? Which is basically, it's pretty bad. It's pretty stupid. All of 4,000 views, so whatever, right? Talk about low-hanging fruit. But anyway, So, the Fair Work Commission has ordered the reinstatement of a BP technician sacked for sharing a downfall parody video after the Australian Workers' Union successfully appealed a controversial tribunal ruling rejecting his unfair dismissal claim. Okay? So this is appeal, right? Again, this is the role of the fucking system and the courts, which is that people have the right to appeal and eventually our rights get protected. Okay? This is the idea. All right? Corporations going to cooperate. They're going to try their luck. Okay? And it's only if you let them get away with it. Anyway, I'm not going to bang on too much because there's more things I want to talk about. I want to talk about, what's his name? Sargon of Akkad. I don't know how to say it. I don't watch it. I don't agree with him, but the case is interesting. So, the technician, who will also be compensated for lost earnings, had changed subtitles on the video, right, which is just the caption thing, to make a humorous parody of enterprise bargaining negotiations at BP's Kwinana refinery in Western Australia. So that's a big refinery, not far from here. BP sacked the worker after finding he had been involved in creating and sharing an offensive video depicting company representatives as Nazis. You see these fucking idiots, the Dwight Schrutes and the Simon Dempseys of this world, and and this is why I really I think HR are pox on humanity, because it's filled with these fucking people, right? Who are just literal and stupid. It's clearly not the case. Okay? It's a fucking meme. So, rejecting the workers' unfair dismissal claim, Commission Deputy President Melanie Binet, about the name, said she was satisfied the video was objectively inappropriate, offensive, and did cause offence to a number of BP employees. Anyway, whatever, blah, 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 right? So they upheld the AWU appeal. Basically, it was found that you can't sack someone for making and sharing a fucking meme, okay? The courts will rule in our favour. My point is, if you get banned or if you... Anyway, whatever, okay. So, anyway, so this is one example, right? They try their luck, it goes to court, they lose. They try their luck, it goes to court, they lose. Okay? Now, I've watched Sargon a few times. I'm not this one. Where is he? Here we go. This one, Carl Benjamin, right? Sargon. Okay? I disagree with him. Okay? I'm not making it, whatever. Okay? But this chick, right? Am I lagging? Looks like I might be lagging. Hang on. All right. Anyway, I'll just keep going. So basically, this chick, dumbass. So he is known for sort of being an anti-SJW kind of guy, anti-feminist, whatever that means. He's carved his audience, right? Much respect. He's got his right to his opinions. I disagree with him on some things. I agree with him on others. That's the role of the internet, right? But this thing has turned into a shit fight with an individual SJW who has misused copyright law. And this is something, I'm sorry, hang on. My brain went into fucking crazy town. Give me a second. Let me recalibrate. Okay. So one thing that I'm seeing happen a lot is the frivolous misuse of copyright claim through YouTube and using, basically putting copyright strikes on content producers in order to shut them down. There's one, Desmond is amazing. Any videos that critique Desmond is amazing. They tend to do that. There's a number of other people who are in the various SJW or woke or whatever you call them. Sorry, just wait. I'll get through the article. Okay. Please, can I just ask one thing? Which is that you don't ask me to do stuff during my feed because it throws me off. I can't, otherwise, the chats are not for me. I don't read them. Otherwise, I just get derailed. I'll read them later, but I'm just going to get through. But the chats are for other people, okay, to see. So anyway, but I will. Okay, you don't like his face? There you go. Okay. Can you tell me if I'm lagging too? I think my GPU has... Hang on, give me one sec. I think my GPU is fucking... maxing out. Just give me 1 sec. That might be better. Hang on. There we go. Okay. I'm not lagging now. There we go. You don't need to apologise. It's fine. I just, I have, like I said, I'm ADD as fuck. So it basically, no. I'm just ADD. So if I happen to see that, then it just makes things go off the rails. But I love the fact that you're commenting, and it's great and it's funny. I just don't want you to feel like, yeah. Anyway, so back to it. So one of the big problems that I've seen happening, and I knew this would happen, right, which was that people who are on a certain side of politics like to exploit the system, thinking that the tech companies are on their side, right? If you're in this woke cult, the tech company is on your side. I know why that is, but that could be a separate video. But basically, some of the things that they will do to shut you down is file a copyright strike if you show their face. Like again, those who are critical of Desmond is Amazing will have been on the receiving end of that, and things like that. So they'll put a copyright strike, or they will turn up to an event and then they will play a copyrighted song in the background so that you can't put it on YouTube. Like, they're so fucking childish. They're stupid, right? These people are stupid because they're also technocrats and they think that tech companies rule the law, which they're not. Okay? These Twitter bans. You know, enough people to get a class action together and Twitter will lose. Okay? That's the thing. They think they're a law unto themselves and they are not. And these SJWs, and I hate using that term, but I'm going to use it because it was used in this article. And, you know, that's what people are using. I call it wokeism because I define it as a distinct ideology that is that has come out of the internet, that is propped up, if not designed by the tech companies to divide and all of that sort of stuff. So anyway, it's designed to destroy the left. Whoever's behind it is a genius, but it's designed to destroy the left, and I'm not letting them fucking do that. So anyway, but these wokes are technocrats because they totally believe that YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, because they have the power, that the law is on their side. So one thing that I love is seeing this shit when they go to an actual court of law and they lose. And that's the thing that I think is a takeaway, because there's more and more cases, right? Harry Miller's case. I'm not going to, again, this is just, you can read about it if you want to. The case is Hughes versus Benjamin. It's emerging. It's still happening because he's still suing for costs. It'll be interesting to see if he gets compensated for that. But basically, he's suing for costs and claiming that she is misusing copyright law to harass. And that's going to be a very interesting thing because that is a gap in the law, right? Which is people who have started to use the legal system as a way to make vexatious claims. So you're seeing this with, Jessica Yaniv. You're seeing it with Stephanie Hayden. You're seeing it with, a number of repeat offenders who are using loopholes in the law to harass and destroy people. And that's what I find interesting about these developments, which is that the tech companies, because the tech companies have a different interest in backing these people. But when it actually gets to court, it gets thrown out. Like, this didn't even get to fucking trial. This got dismissed, okay, as vexatious because she's dumb enough to turn around and brag on Twitter about it. It's just like, go fuck yourself, you idiot. That's not how the world works. So anyway, I think I went on a bit of a rant, but I'm just saying I went on a side note. I'm really not well. I really shouldn't be doing this. But the point is that if you are banned, okay, if you are fired, okay, these tools, I thought it was funny. My brand yourself is getting worse. I'm trying to get to zero. I've talked about this in previous videos. This is an HR tool that assesses your reputation. Okay, this is only because I swear on Twitter. That's it. Okay, don't give a fuck because I don't care. I don't want to work for anyone who uses these tools. But yes, constant disappointment raised Maya for Stater. But well, the thing is, okay? Let's talk about that. Which is that's the role of common law, right? Is to iron out the details. Okay, so what's heartening is that, because I think the circumstances around Maya's case are a bit different in the fact that she was, first of all, a contractor. And it was a non-renewal of a contract. And I think that again, I've only done one employment law unit, so don't fucking quote me. But, it's different circumstances, okay? A lot of this will depend on the arguments that you present and the angle that you present. And I'm sure the lawyers are working on that. But again, this is what is great and wonderful, okay? Which is that the courts don't rule based, they rule based on the case in front of them, the facts in front of them. And then that, then there's a new case with new facts and new evidence, and they go, well, that's slightly different. In this instance, this case is relevant. All of these things. The judiciary is a thing of beauty, right? They have their flaws, right? But I have faith in the judiciary over anything else, okay? So it's worth noting, okay, that if something happens, I want someone to come after me, I'll sue them. I will. I'll try it. So try it in court. And that's one thing that people don't understand, right? And also with things like regulations. Okay, so regulations are another form of how laws are made. Those are through, that's where the College of Policing, it's a weird, Harry Miller's case is actually very interesting, theoretically speaking, because what they're doing is I've talked about this in previous streams as well, which is the difference between policy and law. And a lot of this stuff is getting people at the policy level to behave in a certain way. It's policy, but it's not law. So they haven't passed the Gender Recognition Act yet, right? That hasn't passed through Parliament. That's still up for debate, right? But what they're doing at the policy level is making it policy in all government departments to act as if that was law. Okay? Now, that's the really interesting thing, right? It's capture, right, as Harry's talked about. Again, I went on a tangent. But I just want to talk about this idea of technocracy, okay? Now, this is where I go into a little bit of theory, okay, because it'll help you to understand who we're dealing with, okay, when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, Google, all of those things. There's too much to go into one video. I'm thinking of doing an actual e-course on some of this stuff because it's dry. But at the same time, I think it warrants thought, and I think it's something that HR, and it actually does have real world consequences, which is this mindset that just because you can do it means you should. That is the thoughts of a technocrat. The thoughts of someone who is a Democrat or a liberal Democrat like myself. Well, I'm not a liberal Democrat, but yeah, I'm a socialist, but at the same time, same thing, which is, you know what? No, people have rights. Workers have rights. We have the right to be free from like this stuff, and you have to obey the law, right? And even if the law doesn't catch up, then you have to wait for the law, right? You don't just get to decide. And like with oil, right? That's probably one of the older ones. Well, you don't just get to discover oil and own all the oil, right? And that's what Facebook and Google have done. They've done that with our data, okay, to make, that they've harvested everything about us in order to create predictive data products, right? And basically rule with fear of being fucking assigned a score like, I am a suppressive person in big tech because Brand Yourself says that I swear on Twitter, right? That's fucking creepy, but it's not legal. None of this is legal. So anyway, I've thought about fucking, if I had the money, I would actually just sue Brand Yourself and sue one of these people. But I can't. Problem is you can't prove harm because I'm not looking for a job. But if I was looking for a job and they did use this tool and I didn't get the job based on this tool, I would sue. right? I'd sue for discrimination, or I'd sue for, I don't know. I have to, but I'm just saying, we have rights. They can't just do stuff. You can't just take stuff. Right? It's like that fucking kid in the playground who just takes it and then tries to sell stuff back to you. It's like, no, you took it. No, it's not yours. You took it. Okay? So anyway, this is just me reminding you that you have rights. Okay? And that, yeah, anyway. You have rights. Learn some history about how this has worked. Okay? Stuff loses in court. Anyway, I feel sick. I'm going to go. I think I've wasted time. I don't know when I'll be back, but we'll see how we go. I'm just doing it as I feel like it. I felt like doing it today because I wanted to talk about it. But obviously I reach a point where I'm a bit too crook to kind of think clearly. So hopefully this has been of value. I am going to start doing some actual premium courses where I'm a little bit more structured. And I actually put some effort in. I don't write any of this, I just talk. But the point is, okay, you need to start objecting to this kind of technology because they don't have a mandate to do this. Okay? It's not their right. They can't sack you for a meme. They can't sack you for a tweet. And that is going to become clear. Okay? The only reason that they're getting away with it right now is because HR are doing what they want and because because the economy's in the shitter and you know, people are afraid to lose their jobs and don't want to have to go through court cases. But eventually this will be illegal. Okay, I hope that we get to a point where this is actually illegal and that they break up these fucking companies and that this is not okay. All right, social scoring, fucking, it's just no. Okay, and a note to any employer out there who wants to police the tweets of somebody or some things that they say and do in their spare time, go fuck yourself. Pay them. You pay them for that. Otherwise, you stay out of it. You can't fire people for things that they do in their spare time. Okay, you just can't, and the law will prove on my side. So anyway, thank you for watching. I love you. Thank you for your precious life seconds, especially when I'm just rambling and going off on tangents when I'm unwell. But yeah, you can visit me at tayasmith.com.au, and if you want to contribute to my horse shit, then by all means do. Been a rough few weeks. Anyway, we've had a lot of drama in our house this week, so that's how it is. So I will talk to you maybe Monday. But yeah, I'm still technically taking a break from things because we've just got a lot of stuff going on. But I'll talk to you soon. Bye.